Welcome back! Today we're going to go over perspective part 3, adding color to our backgrounds. I'm starting with extra fine Sharpie or Sharpie pen to outline over all of the pencil lines in my perspective drawing. It's really important to use your straight edge when you outline all of your pencil work because you don't want to risk kind of making a line look crooked, especially since you spent so much time working on creating the correct angles and edges of your buildings. Once you're done, erase away any visible pencil lines after your work is outlined with Sharpie. It should look something like this after you have completely outlined your work. It should look neat and ready for color. I also took a second and added in 2 extra buildings in the front facing part of this drawing, so if you'd like to do that, you can too. Now we're ready to add some color and shading to our backgrounds. I like to organize my colored pencils according to color families before I begin. This way I know I have analogous colors that are closely related to each other on the color wheel, ready for blending. I'm going to start with shading in the sky. To begin, start by determining what kind of sky you would like to create. In this demonstration, I'm going to do a sunset style sky where it is more yellow at the horizon line and darker at the top of the page, moving from yellow into oranges, into pinks, into violet. Colors should blend gradually from lighter at the horizon line to darker at the top of your paper. Do you want to make a blue sky? Do you want to add clouds into your sky? Try looking at a Google image photo of a sky that you like and notice how color changes and how the shape of clouds change as they approach the horizon line. In this Google image photo, you'll notice that the blue is darker at the top of the sky and lighter as it approaches the horizon line. Notice the clouds are also different organic shapes and they are larger at the top of the image and more narrow and stretched out by the horizon line. In this image of more of a sunset, you're going to notice darker color at the top of the picture and brighter color towards where the horizon would be. The horizon is in the back by the mountains. You also might notice that the clouds in a sunset picture might be brighter colored on the bottom of the clouds and darker at the top of the cloud. If you do not want to draw any clouds in your sky, that's okay too. My demonstration will not include any clouds. It'll be showing you how to create a smooth gradation. So here I am going to start with yellow in kind of a soft oval shape where the yellow is going to gradually blend into deeper yellows and oranges. That yellow area is kind of representing where the sun is setting back in the horizon. I use analogous color, closely related color families to create color gradation. It's important to softly layer your color and extend it out a little bit past the point where you'd want it to go so your other color can latch into the color you just laid down. I'm doing this really lightly to start because we can do several passes of color to increase how dense the colored pencil is and how much of the white of the paper your colored pencil takes up. If you tend to press a little harder to begin with and you deposit a little bit more color, that's okay. But I do recommend trying to keep your color layering gradual and keep trying to allow your colors to latch or fade into each other for a smooth gradation. Once I get up here to the darkest violet, I'm going to extend that into the corners and down a little bit. I don't want to extend it too far down because I do want that deeper color to be at the top. And then I'm kind of backtracking and I'm going back down the color values where I go from violet into magenta, into pinks, into oranges, and back into the yellows. So I'm kind of working my way backwards at this point, back to my lightest color. In colored pencil work, your lightest color is always your blender and it can always be used to smooth out and fade all of your other colors. The finished sky can look something like this, or it could be a little more densely layered. When you're done, you're going to move on to working on the road. Don't forget to keep your pencils sharp at all times. For the road, I'm going to start by adding a yellow color, and I'm making it sharpen to a nice point so I can get into the small areas of the lines. I'm going to press hard and fill in the lines with the colored pencil. This can be done pretty densely. By building up a heavy layer of colored pencil, it'll sort of help you repel the other pencil shading that you put near it. From here, I am using a black colored pencil to do some light shading throughout the street, and I'm going to be making it darker values at the bottom of the page closest to us, and I'm going to fade it out so it's a lighter value as it approaches the vanishing point towards the horizon line. Things that are closer to us in a perspective drawing should be more detailed and darker or more saturated in color as they're closest to us. So in this sense, things that are towards us at the bottom of our perspective drawing are the things that are kind of closer to us. So I'm going to just fade this out, and then I will backtrack and add darker values to the area closer to me by layering a lot more colored pencil down there. So I'm going to repeat this process for the other side of the road and keep layering the road to make it darker at the bottom. So your finished road might look something like this, where I've pressed really hard and saturated with black towards the base of the drawing, and it is lighter going back towards that vanishing point. To blend the road, I'm going to use a white prismacolor pencil starting in the back by the vanishing point to smudge and blend the white into the black that I've already shaded. This is going to cause the road to appear a little bit more gray. This is also an opportunity to allow the texture of the paper to disappear a little bit. If you do not want to do this part and you don't want to use your white colored pencil, that's fine. You can totally leave it shaded as it was originally. I just figured I would test this out, see how it looks, and if I like it. So it does smooth out the black quite a bit, and as I had shaded a little bit heavier at the bottom, the white doesn't soak into that part quite as much. So I'm going to repeat that on this side of the drawing as well, so it's equal and even, and not forget the center of the road as well. From here, I can start to make decisions about the sidewalk. So since the theme of my project has to do with art, I am deciding to make my sidewalk a little bit colorful. So I am doing a multicolored sidewalk. Whatever you choose to shade your sidewalk, what I would recommend doing is shading it a little bit darker to lighter in each little square or rectangular shape that you have. So I'm shading it darker at the bottom of the line and lighter as it's moving up into the shape. This will just kind of help create a little bit more depth and lead our eye back towards that vanishing point. So whatever direction you choose to do this in, just be consistent. Your finished sidewalk should look something like this. finish out my drawing, I continued to work with black colored pencil in the very background of the area behind the buildings towards the horizon line. So I continued to shade from dark to light towards that horizon line, and then I blended the color down with my colored pencil. So I kind of have this gray background happening behind the buildings. Once you're done with the sky and ground, you're ready to watch the next tutorial to begin shading in the building area.